G or Edward Kavik, whichever you prefer. Tonight I'm going to be discussing September 11th, 2001. I remember it almost like it was yesterday. It was a horrible, horrible situation. We lost almost 3,000 people in less than, I want to say, an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's a lot of lives taken in such a short time period. Al Qaeda and Bin Laden and them were behind it. They came out of Afghanistan. We fought. We killed Bin Laden. Took out the Taliban, the government of Afghanistan. 20 years later, they're back in power again, the Taliban. Al Qaeda is growing again in Afghanistan, besides in other places around the world. And now we got this new group, ISIS. So for all these people who think that the fight is over, it's way, way too far from being over, okay? One thing I miss about September 11th and what happened right after that is in America, there was no whites, blacks, Asians, Native Americans, Hispanics. We were all just Americans. We were all just sucker punched. Okay? I actually miss that feeling. That's how America should always be. We're all Americans, yes. We argue amongst ourselves with each other. And as Charlie Daniels once said in one of his old songs, I did believe it was America, we might have done a bit of fighting amongst ourselves, but you outside people best leave us alone, because we'll all stick together. This new generation has me scared. I don't think they'll stick together with us. A lot of these like woke people, BLM people, Antifa, if this country got invaded, I'm pretty sure they'd be one of the first groups to join the enemy side to sell us all out. Okay? But I don't want to criticize on this day. Okay? This is a day to remember the almost 3,000 people that lost their lives. And then the thousands and thousands of people who lost their lives since then because of it. That should be a thing of remembrance. You see, because lots of soldiers died trying to take out Al Qaeda and all of them. For like almost 20 years, they've lost lives. My heart goes out to these soldiers and their families that have lost their lives. Like, you can't really see, but this shirt I'm wearing, okay, it says, I stand for the flag. I kneel for the fallen. And on this day, I think every American should be on at least one knee for all the lives that were lost on that horrific day. Seriously, it was, for you younger generation that don't remember it, it was a surreal feeling, okay? You look in the sky, you didn't see one commercial airline, okay? If you seen a plane in the sky, it was a jet fighter. They had the whole sky filled with jet fighters, pretty much. And the silence was deafening, okay? People were walking around, like almost every single person you seen was in complete shock. And it didn't matter if you were Republican, Democrat, Independent, part of the Green Party, whatever. You were in shock. You just got sucker punched by a group of people that had no real modern technology except jets as weapons. Okay? It was one of the worst experiences America, I think, has ever gone through. The only other incident that I can think that was probably more horrific than that was the Civil War. Okay? Possibly the Revolutionary War, but they were predictable. They were planned. We knew what to expect. This was out of the blue. Early morning, well, around 9 Central Time, 2 towers collapsed. 2 jets flew right into them. And watching it on every channel, you knew people were dying. Every second you're watching it, probably 10 to 20 people were dead, just died, perished, snuffed out, no longer able to see their family. Their family would never see them again. And it was so horrific. Most of the coffins, the burials, were just like a watch, an ID, because bodies were pretty much evaporated, disintegrated in the fire. And you younger generation, I really wish and pray you never have to experience something that us older people lived through. I mean, because there's people that were young, like younger than 10, that can remember that day. That's how terrible it was. Kids look to their parents for what happened. Their parents had no answers for them because they were just as stunned. It was a terrible situation. And on this day, the 20th anniversary, I take a moment of silence for every life that was lost on that day and every day since then. And I wish everybody that's watching this video takes a moment of silence to remember that day. So just remember, all of you out there that are American, you're all free. Don't let anybody, government, anyone tell you you're not free. You can do almost anything you set your mind to. You just have to give it your all, and who knows what you can accomplish. And again, to the younger generation, freedom always comes at a price. Freedom is never always truly free. Okay? You always have to fight for your freedom. And it's sad to say, but it's true. And the way this country's going now, we're quickly starting to lose all of our freedoms. And I won't stand for it. And I'm pretty sure there's millions and millions of Americans that won't stand for it. On both sides, the Republican side and the Democratic side. People are getting sick of it. All these mandates, the president telling us that we better get the vaccine. It's just complicated. And I really wish and pray America would go back to the way it was. Actually, pretty much free. Because nobody's actually truly, completely all the way free. Some people have to deal with that. So, on this day, I hope everybody takes a moment to remember what happened that day 20 years ago. I was like 32 years old, going on 33. I worked third shift, so I was pretty much going to sleep when it happened. I was dumbfounded. I was shocked. I didn't know what to think of it. But the younger generation, I hope you'll never have to experience it. But the sad part is, it'll probably come again. It's going to be full circle. Maybe it won't be planes, but the terrorists will come again. So you always have to stand vigilant and always keep an eye, because you never know when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. But you always have to make sure you're ready to fight back if it does happen. Okay? So, with that, I will bid you all a good night. Keep your families safe. Let them know how much you love them. Because just like we learned on 20 years ago on this very day, they could easily be taken away from you. Okay? Or you could be taken away from them. So always let your loved ones know how you really feel. Okay? And always try to keep your family safe and yourself safe. So I bid you a good night, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be a bright new day, much better than today. Okay? Take care. Bye.